Welcome to
Hello,
Hi. Welcome to Shell's Pearls of Wisdom. I am here with the beautiful Nicole, A.K.A.
Miss Victory Rose.
Miss Victory Rose. All right, so it's so nice to meet you. This is another young woman from our pinup community. She's kind of new like me, a baby pinup. And I've been talking to her a little bit off camera, and she actually has some pretty different, viewpoints of the whole pinup scene. Since she's so new, she's still kind of like feeling her way in and kind of get familiar with the layout and what the community is all about. And I'm just so excited to welcome her and just say thanks for being here because this is not easy to get in front of a camera and do a recording. So thank you for doing it, and trust me, everybody that is part of this has enjoyed it, and they're happy they did it. So I hope that you had the same experience afterwards as well.
Well, thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for coming. Um, so Miss Nicole here is a young 36, and she is from the Wisconsin area. So, kind of like tell us a little bit about yourself. Where were you born and raised?
I grew up in Delavan, Wisconsin, which some people may know that area. It's near Lake Geneva. And I grew up there, graduated from high school there, and I went to college at Alverno College in Milwaukee, where I acquired a bachelor's degree in music. And my focus was in music therapy. So music is really important to me in my life. I know I have a guitar in the back there.
I saw that in the background. I was like, ooh.
Yep, that's one of two. Small collection. And then with all of the COVID-19 stuff going on right now, that kind of put a stop to, I was doing music at nursing homes and group homes and things like that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that was one of my jobs, as well as I was a special education assistant for a middle school with sixth
cool.
graders. Yeah, so with that, that also got put on hold.
Yeah.
We weren't. So yeah, life is kind of up in the air right now with job stuff. So I've been home. I've been contemplating on what's next in this chapter.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's really a sucky situation right now overall. I mean, I don't know. Haven't talked to anybody that is like in like the best of places where, especially when it comes to careers and stuff like that. It's just so up in the air. I truly hope that everything kind of like once the dust settles, things kind of go back to as normal as we can hope.
Right.
But it's a wonderful thing that you are a music therapist. I work in a hospital. I'm a nurse, so I work in a hospital, and we have like all different type of therapies. We have like the therapy dogs. We have the therapy, of course, like physical, occupational, and to have music is just amazing. We don't offer that service as far as I know. So that is just something that I cannot imagine that being fulfilled, and a really great thing to do, provide these people with that kind of happiness even for that moment of time.
It's very, I would say it's useful. It has it, it
do
does
you make
help.
them sing with you, or do you just play music
Of course.
for them?
Well, I don't make them sing, but they can sing along. They can, and right now, that is one thing that I'm contemplating on, because I don't want to say that I'm a music therapist right now. But that was, journey that I traveled on, and there is a board certification exam that I need to prepare for so that I can continue that journey. But that's just part of me. I mean, as far as the vintage goes, I've always loved dress up. When I was a little girl, my best friend she had all these old vintage dresses that we would play with, and we would play pretend and things from the 40s and 50s and 70s and 60s, and I wish we still had them. So that's kind of where the love of vintage pretty much started, and then my mom and stepdad got involved um, antiquing. They acquired many antiques from family and relatives, and so I enjoy antiquing as well, and thrift shopping, which I suppose I kind of get from the days of when we would go rummage sale hopping to different places, finding different things, mainly dress up dresses.
I love like the thrift stores. That's like if somebody wants to occupy my time for a few hours, give me like $50 and then drop me off at a thrift store. Like
Exactly.
I can literally find myself there for probably too long of time to spend at a store because I am the one that's meticulous and I will have the patience to go through every single rack, every single item. I have that kind of patience. So, but I find some gems. When I say I find gems, I find some gems. Like,
Yes.
um,
I agree.
yeah, we have to go sometime. You have to show me some good ones in Wisconsin, and I'll show you some good ones in Illinois.
Okay.
So you said that you grew up in like a smaller town in Wisconsin. How
Yes.
was just growing up in like a smaller town? Was like everybody knew each other? Was it kind of like slow pace? Like how was it?
Mm, I would just say it was normal for me. I mean,
Yeah.
people knew each other. Yeah. And I was lucky that, I had different grandparents who lived around, my mom and dad they're not that far away. And right now I live in Fort Atkinson, so that's a half an hour away from there. Lots of backcountry roads. It's pretty. And then my dad's parents lived in Delavan, and so we would see them different times. And it was nice to be close to family.
Yeah.
Um,
Are you very family oriented? Like super tight knit?
um, I mean, I would say we know what's going on.
I get it.
So
I understand. Do you have children?
I do not. I have dogs. I
Oh,
have
you have fur babies. And what are
I
their
have fur
names?
baby. We have a Jack Russell. Her name is Zoe.
Oh,
Um,
yes, I remember Zoe. She just got hurt recently.
yeah, and she's at my mother-in-law's right now, recuperating, but she's
Yeah,
doing very well.
good. I'm glad you can. I have a Jack too. We talked about that.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then you
she's
have
pretty.
a.
We also have two Dobermans, and
Oh, I love Doberman.
they are brother and sister.
Oh, I
The
want to see
older one,
pictures.
I'll have to send you some. The
Yes, send me
older
pictures.
the older one is named Zelda. My
Oh my
husband's
God,
a
those
big
are my kids'
gamer.
middle names.
Really?
Yes, they were named after their grandfather, whose name was Zelda, who hated his name because once
Oh,
the video game Zelda, the princess game came out,
yeah.
he's like, please don't name any of your children after me because now it's like a girl's name. But my husband and I decided to name both of our boys after their grandfather, and it's Zelda. So yes, yes, both my kids carry the Zelda name.
So yeah, so Zelda, she's gonna be 2 on May
Oh,
17th, and
oh,
it was named after the game, but also named after like Zelda Fitzgerald.
okay.
So, the writer's wife.
Uh-huh.
Um, and then our other Doberman, he's gonna be 1 on May 16th. How odd is that? They're like super close. And his name is Ezio, named after the Assassin's Creed character Ezio Auditore da Firenze.
I
And
love
last
it.
year we hosted a foreign exchange student from Italy.
Uh-huh.
And so in honor of her, that's where the Italian name came from.
Oh, that's cool. Oh my God. So you say we. Are you married or
Yes, yes. My
okay?
husband,
Because I'm like you kept saying we, so I'm like, who's the we? All right. How
yes.
long have you been married?
We got married in 2016 in January on the 23rd.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's awesome. Wow. So with you have kind of an active, busy household there with like
Yes.
everything going on.
Yes.
Do you find yourself, especially around these times, like with everything going on in the world, just like finding ways to occupy your time? Are you pretty busy right now? Like, what are you doing?
Um, I have been honestly catching up on Netflix shows that I haven't watched in a while.
You and me both. Don't be ashamed. That's what half of America is doing.
I have been playing a little music. Sometimes I go online. I have a Facebook page dedicated to it's my music business. I call it Music Memories and Moments.
Oh,
And so I have my own Facebook page set up for that. And I've been posting a few videos on there. Tried to do it during the week after the first week that I was kind of laid off, just to kind of
yeah.
raise my spirits. But then I kind of was like, okay, this is nobody's watching, and I'm not sure if this is doing any good right now. So
Well,
I
plug it right now. Let the people out there know. What's the name of the Facebook page?
it's Music Memories and Moments by Nicole Fuller.
All right. So, everybody out there, give her a like on her page and share and love her and let her know that we are thinking about her during these times that we are kind of all stuck inside of our house, all Netflixing and but basically drinking wine. At least that's what I'm doing.
Our recycling bin was pretty clangy last week when I set it out to the curb. I said maybe we should get some boxes of wine instead. No, I don't drink that.
Wow. I love it. I sent my my adult niece who's over 21 to go buy some wine, and she calls me from the store and she sends me a picture. She's like, I know you want the Moscato, but there's only like these big bottles of it. And I'm like, well, how big can it be? And she sends me this picture of this bottle of Moscato that was like this wide and like this tall. And I was like,
That'll last a
oh,
while.
I was, I was kind of like, okay, that's a little excessive. I don't need like our neighbors to think like I'm not what alcoholic. As I throw away this bottle of wine that looks like it's like a novelty item. It doesn't even look
Right.
like it's real. So I totally understand the whole entire like, maybe. Maybe.
Yes, and
Um,
I love to garden, and I mean, besides the music, that the gardening thing is big for me. I have lots of house plants. I have my husband who fondly calls me Poison Ivy or Pamela Isley because I like house plants and gardening outside, and
that's
of course
actually
I
kind of
find
good
it
pickup name.
relaxing.
I like that.
Could be something.
Yeah, I was
Um,
gonna say that might be like a nice little hmm.
maybe. And uh yeah, I different things I enjoy. I love cooking. I had a coworker at the middle school I work at who introduced me to HelloFresh. I enjoy the recipes that I receive, and we occasionally get that every now and then, so we can try something new. And being a fur mom, we have the 3 dogs, and we also have a cat. Her name is Charlotte.
Charlotte. So you have
Yes.
3 dogs and a cat.
So yeah, we're pretty busy
You're
taking
busy. I was going to say you're pretty
animals.
busy. It's okay though. It's okay. Well, it kind of like brings us into like your present time, like getting to know you. So you said that you're pretty new. What
Mhm.
when was your first experience in this life?
Let's see. Okay. I kind of need to take it back because I started reenacting in about 2011 or 2012. Um, I was I was dating someone then, and we got married, and that didn't last very long. But he introduced me into reenacting, and I'll be honest, when I first learned about it, I thought, no way, no way am I dressing. And this was Civil War, There was no way was I going to wear a corset and all these layers and all the undergarments that you're supposed to wear, which I mean, I'll leave that as that. But friends are probably laughing. Anybody in the reenactment community knows me, and they know me. But
well, I would
there
have
was
laughed.
no
What?
way
What's
I was
going
going to
on?
do that. I was not going to tent in a canvas tent or anything like that. No way. I do now. My opinion has changed a slight bit. And then it started out with that, and like I said, it goes back to dress up. I love dress up. And then I learned so much about history, so much more. I gained a much better appreciation for history. I love history. And I was able to incorporate that love of history in my job at the middle school. So I would throw out little tidbits to the kids, like, do you know this, or do you know that, or
You made it fun,
that?
more fun learning.
Yes, it is fun learning. And then I branched out into World War II reenacting and World War One reenact, going to those types of reenactments.
So
and
let me ask you
20s.
a question, because I've always been actually kind of curious about this, to tell you the God honest truth. Because I've actually seen some reenacting before, just from the sidelines. I never participated, but I have actually seen it. And it looks, I mean, it's very theatrical. I am a true thespian. I love acting. I love the theater scene. I think I probably see when we are in the active theater season, especially here in Chicago, because we have like a really big theater scene here. I probably see at least 4 or 5 plays a month, even if it's like at the rinky-dink small theaters, because I just love it that much. So it actually looks really interesting to me. If somebody was to be, let's say, curious about joining that, that scene, how would you get started?
Talk to somebody who's involved in it.
It's just that easy? You don't have to be like part of like a secret society kind of?
There are groups in the area that you can become part of, but it's mainly more of you, if you know somebody and they invite you out to see what it's like. It's living history. You're reenacting history. You're educating the public about different parts, different historical events.
What part do you like to play?
I usually do a civilian, or I'll incorporate my guitar playing or music into it somehow.
Okay,
So,
cool.
like, my favorite is the 40s.
Okay, so it kind of goes
40s
along
music.
kind of with the pinup. Like it does go really, because you have the different time periods and
Sort of.
yeah.
It's a little more educating the public of different events that took place. I've done a few talks with other people on various topics, like the home front. I've been involved in fashion shows where we kind of show off the fashion of the time, and we display what would have been appropriate to wear at that time period.
Is your fashion a little bit less of the glamour side and more of just like the average, like everyday wear?
It depends on somewhat it depends on the time of the year. It depends on what's in my closet and what fits at that time of the year. And a lot of times I'll wear dresses that are maybe not necessarily fancy, but for say if you look at old photos from a USO show, I want it to look like that.
Okay.
And I've always been told that I'm very good at piecing things together. I may find something that looks new, but I might find something that's new, but it looks old, so I can pass it off for that time period. Okay. And nobody has to know. As long as your zipper's in the right place, for the time period, who's gonna know?
So you're good at the reenacting the vintage, true, authentic look of that time period.
Yeah, and with my current size and frame and statue. It's very hard to find vintage dresses that fit.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I don't live the 1940s lifestyle. I don't ration my food. So,
Girl, who does? I ration it in my mouth. That's what I do.
exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I would definitely. I'm sure you have tons of pictures of you in this attire. I would love to see that. We will add it to the clip because, like I said, a lot. I've never spoke to anybody in real life who actually participates in this. I've always kind of stood in the background and just like observed it, but I've never actually got to pick someone's brain about it. So that's really cool.
So I'm trying to where it branched off from there. Last year I participated in my first pinup contest, and it was for the Red, White, and Troops, I believe is the title of it. It's at Nino's. It was a car show. And that was the first one that I did. I tried it and kind of got a taste for it. And it was nice to meet everybody involved. And everyone's always nice and really helpful. You know, they'll fix your zipper or, oh, hey, your bra strap is showing, things like that. Helpful tips.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's kind of, for me, you know, I perform music. That's not a problem. I can get up in front of a group of people. I can be at a beer garden or on a stage. I can be in front of people in a nursing home or a group home or just in my home. But it's one thing doing that for me as it's different as a pinup contest because of the posing and things like that. And that's something where I struggle with more. It's not easy doing that.
Yeah. Do you think, because I know a few girls, I'll actually give you some information if you're interested, but I know a few girls that actually do the workshops, and they actually sit with baby pinups like yourself, who are just so new to that part of the scene, because it's the easiest part is pretty much finding your first dress that you want to wear and your first look that you want to pull off. That's like the easier part. It is the harder part, getting up there, knowing the person, knowing the poses, knowing how they want you to stand, kind of like having an idea of what they want you to say, but when they ask you the question, that is the harder part. If that was something that you can like get involved with, would you be more inclined to do more shows and more contests?
I might. I'm not. I've never always like. I shouldn't say always, but I'm not a huge person like with competition. As far as competition goes, it's not something that I completely enjoy. I mean,
It's not
I
anything.
I do. I mean, obviously, when I was growing up through school, there was music competitions, solo ensemble contests. I played the violin, I played the piano, I sang. Obviously, I took part in those things, and yes, it was something I was good at, and maybe that's why I enjoyed it more. The pinup world it's a bit different for me, and so it's more challenging. So it's not. I'm not gonna say I don't enjoy it because I do, but it's just that it's more challenging, and maybe maybe having someone to kind of guide and give instruction would be helpful.
I have a mentor. I started off with well, she's still my mentor because I still don't know what I'm doing. But I had a mentor, and literally, she talked me off the ledge of my like second competition because I wasn't gonna go. I like totally had a moment where I was like, I'm not doing this, and she had to like give me a pep talk and tell me to get my ass on the stage and stop acting like that.
I didn't do that at my second one. I totally chickened out.
I drove all the way to Detroit from Chicago, and
farther than I did.
Oh, and I was gonna chicken out, and she was like, no, 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 and so if I didn't have her, I would have totally like froze. I would have done it, but it was nice having someone that had more confidence in me than I had in myself, I guess.
Yes.
And tell me I can do it, and tell me that I'll be fine. So I understand what you mean. Like it's kind of overwhelming, and when you walk into a group and you see all these beautiful ladies and they look so well put together and they're all like buddy buddy because they know each other, it can be a little intimidating. I can see
Right.
that. It is. It's very. Um, so with that being said, I know that you're like it's not maybe your cup of tea, but I know a lot of girls that actually do not participate. I actually interviewed one girl that said like she doesn't do any competition because she says she's a horrible loser. She's like she knows that about herself. She says she hates to lose, so she knows because of that part of her personality, she won't do it because she would not want to be one of the people to be like a sore loser. She would want to be happy for everybody and be able to give everybody that kind of recognition and praise, but she's like behind the scenes where she's one of the people that actually help you with wardrobe, make you really make sure that you look authentic, make sure that like if you do have to buy something more modern that you can pull together to make it look vintage, maybe
Mm-hmm.
that is going to be like a part of your niche, part of the community where you can help girls like me that don't know much about the hair, like the history of it. I love the competition, I like the commodity, and I like doing all that. But for me, I struggle with the vintage versus modern vintage versus authentic vintage. Like I didn't realize there were so many different levels to it. So someone like yourself would actually help someone like me who needs that kind of guidance.
Right. And maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I only did it one time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
uh, you know,
Well, it's
I,
always something that you can dabble in.
yeah,
That's the one thing that's fun about it. You can do it one day and then be like, and then next in a month or two, be like, you know what, I'll try it again. So that's the fun part
that's
about
kind
it.
of where I'm at.
Yeah, yeah. Well, honestly, I'm glad I got that perspective because I haven't really interviewed anybody that was kind of like weary about it. So it's nice to know that, even though you weren't 100% gun ho, that you haven't like counted it out. You're just kind of like, oh, I'll see, I'll dip my toe in the water a little bit. So
Yeah.
that's nice. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know that. Besides the whole entire pinup community and your reenacting, what else do you like to do as a hobby?
Well, there's the music. I mean,
Yep.
that's a sort of a hobby. It doesn't, it's not my day job. It's a part-time job. It's
Uh-huh.
something that I do by myself. We have dogs.
Uh-huh.
So we have spent a lot of time with dogs. I spend time with dogs. And um,
Have you had the opportunity to do the photo side of like the reenacting? Do you guys do that? Do you guys like reenact photos for things or?
we have photos, yes. I mean, it's mainly just pictures of from different events and us in the photos and um, for the guys that are involved in the battles, there are, you know, scenes based, well, I wouldn't say scene shots, but it's the action shots that you
Yeah.
see.
Have you
It's
ever
what's
been in
going.
battle or you because you're a
No,
woman you're just okay. Oh, that would be
no,
fun.
I haven't taken part, but I have friends who have.
Uh-huh.
Uh, and I think it's awesome that they portray that. An important impression that needs to be shown.
Of
I
course.
have taken part in suffragette marches at World War I events. I have done different takes on things like that as far as that goes.
Does your husband do
Basic.
it with you?
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Yeah, we've gone to different events together, and we find things for him that work for
Yeah.
that time. It
Did
and
you
he's
introduce it to
portrayed.
him or did he introduce it to you?
I introduced it to him,
Okay.
and he has portrayed. Well, he was in the Navy. He's a vet, so he's shown off his Navy side of it, and he
Mhm.
was
Uh-oh.
he on 6'5", and then when he was in the Navy, and then he's also portrayed as like a Marine dog handler during World War II. And
Oh,
we
okay.
had one year where we brought out our Doberman named Jericho, who passed away.
Aw.
Um, yeah, and he was our dog, so he was portrayed as our Marine dog, and Dobermans were one of the breeds that they used to help the soldiers during World War II. Animals have been used in all, different events throughout history as far as
Yeah,
wars go. So we tried to incorporate that as an impression to show people, it's not just
yeah.
now that they're using dogs and other animals. Um, it's been throughout history that animals have been used to help and to, help soldiers aid in different
I
parts of
know they're big
history.
therapy dogs now. I mean, I
Yes.
know that they are. It's almost like you leave the military, and the first thing that they suggest you do is, if you don't have especially if you don't have a family to come home to, is to get a service dog that's going to be your buddy, be someone to be companion, and that love that you might need. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
well, I mean, it's already coming up to the 30-minute mark. It's that quick. That's crazy. But I definitely want you to just kind of like wrap your segment up in a cute little bow. And for women out there that are kind of going through the same struggle, like their jobs are kind of like in the balance, and you don't kind of know what's going to happen after all the dust settles here. What kind of pearls of wisdom would you give that person?
Um, I would kind of say it's one of those things where, you when you get bogged down, well, I know I do mentally. It's like, oh, what am I gonna do? And oh, this is not going right, and that's not going right, and where's this gonna go? And oh, I don't have anything to offer, or you know, it just you get stuck in your head, and you're in that I suck mentality. And I just have to kind of remind myself, like I am possible. It's I can do this. I can do things. And yes, there's a large load that I have to deal with, but I have to figure out a way to get, how to carry that and how to make that work for myself. So that's something that I always have to keep that in the back of my
Yeah,
mind, especially right now.
especially
Kind
right
of like
now.
kind of like the Lena Horne, quote where she's saying, it's not the load, it's not about the load, it's how you carry it and things like on that end.
Yeah, and I love Lena Horne. We love me some Lena Horne. So, well, thank you so very much, Nicole. What I basically am going to like tell you that I got from my experience with you and just kind of getting to know you is that it's okay to not always be certain of everything that's going on. It's just about like trying something new. And you might like it, you might not like it. You tried the reenacting of the historic events and you seem to really enjoy it, and it seems to fit like your lifestyle. You introduced it to even your husband and now he enjoys it. Like that is something that's amazing. With your music talent, the fact that you are someone who goes and gives people the gift of music for therapy is like, I know for myself, music is a big therapy. If I'm having one of those days, sometimes I know exactly my go-to stuff to get me through whatever I'm struggling with. So that is amazing that you do that for people. It has to be fulfilling. And I know that the times are hard right now, but with your perseverance and with your personality, I think you will be good. And I think music is going to be something that's going to be your savior. I don't know how, but I think it will be. To stick with it, keep doing your stuff on your page and putting out the music. Don't stop doing your clips and stuff because you think no one's paying attention. I started this in 2017 and totally thought nobody was paying attention. And now it just all of a sudden overnight, it does. All of a sudden you just need that one little following, that one little group that are going to like pay that attention, and then you can get bigger than life. So don't give up that. Keep doing the videos, keep putting out, if you are making music, keep doing it, because that's what makes you special, and that's what your gift is for the world. So don't stop, okay? All right.
Got
I'm gonna
it.
don't hang up from me, but I'm gonna sign off from everybody else. So thank you for joining Nicole and I for today's Shell's Pearls of Wisdom. I thank you once again for coming on the show and shedding some light onto what's going on in today's world and how people are handling it. And everybody out there, thank you for joining me again. I hope people are hanging in there. I know times are really, really stressful in not certain, and that's probably the scariest part is we just don't know, and that's scary. So please hang in there. Things will get better. They're not going to be just this moment. So I love you guys. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. All right, bye.
Bye.